What's going on YouTube? Claykeys all back again with another Might and Magic Elemental Guardians video, and today we're going to be discussing glyphs, pretty much the basics of glyphs, what you should be looking for in your glyphs, leveling up glyphs and how to obtain them, and going through early to mid-game progression where I am right now. So what are glyphs? Glyphs are what we're going to be using to get and put them on our units and our creatures and make them stronger. It's what gives us stats, as we can see here. Gives us bonus stats, makes our units stronger, tougher, faster, they attack harder, things like that. And they can be obtained in various ways throughout the game, and we'll cover which ways I think you guys should be going about doing that later in the video. The next thing I want to talk about is when you get a glyph can have one of the different glyph types that you see on the left. We have Vitality, Strength, Frenzy, Defense, Haste, Precision, Destruction, Endurance, Lifesteal, Appeasement, Meditation, and Immunity. And when you get 3 of the same glyph put onto one creature, you guys are going to be able to get a glyph bonus, as you can see in the bottom right. You can see that the Vitality gives a bonus to HP. I'm getting 20% HP, and I also have a Haste bonus going on right now for my haste glyphs for speed, and that's plus 10 to my speed stat, which is actually very good. And you can mix and match these. You can see Frenzy does bonus to crit. You guys can look into these yourself, but that's just a general overview. So if you could even put 6 of one glyph on someone and get double that bonus. So for example, if I had 6 Vitality on my unit, I'd have 40% HP, and early in the game that's really good, so you can survive, and so you can get higher stats on the glyphs you have equipped. So let's look at a rundown of a normal glyph. We have this rare glyph right here. It is green. Now, there are all kinds of different colored glyphs. There's the highest one being purple, and let me go show you guys a purple glyph. Here's my purple glyph. It was my first one I got. Oh, this is my second one I got. I have 2 now, but it was one of the first ones I got, and I think this is an insane glyph for me. I'm very excited about it. But it goes from purple down to yellow, down to green, blue, and then white. So white being the lowest rarity. And what does that exactly mean? Do you see this top stat on this legendary purple glyph here? It says speed. That stat will increase much more on glyphs that have a higher rarity, and it also allows you to get more of these substats on higher rarity glyphs when they pop up randomly when you get them. So for example, if I were to take this speed epic appeasement glyph right here and get it all the way to level 16, it would still have a lower speed stat than this legendary purple glyph. So, in the general view of things, there's a limit to how much you'll put a glyph and level it up, because, depending on the color, because it's not really worth it, because eventually you start to fail as you level up, and we'll go into leveling up glyphs here in a little bit, but it starts to fail, and then it starts getting harder. It costs more gems, it costs more of your blue resources, and so you kind of want to stop. So on, you really don't want to worry about white glyphs. You put them on, you leave them on, or whatever. When you have a blue glyph, you want to keep that around level 7, because that's when you're going to get a substat bonus, and that's where you want to keep it. The next one would be green. You normally get greens to level 10. Yellows go to 13, and then for purples, you level that bad boy all the way up to 16 as long as it looks good. Moving on to a couple more things about glyphs. The top stat on the glyph is the one that will change the most with each level. So let's go ahead and get in here. I'm going to level up a glyph I just recently got. It's a haste glyph. And it's right here. It's this yellow HP percent haste glyph. It's epic yellow, meaning we're going to try to go to all the way to level 13. If you look at this epic haste glyph, we can see that its top stat is HP. So when I go to level this guy up, that HP is always going to increase. You can see the other stats do not increase at all. So that is why it's very important to be aware of what stat is the top stat. That is this main stat of the glyph. So if you're looking for HP, if you're looking for defense, if you're looking for defense percent, HP percent, speed, haste, etc., that is the number you're going to want to look for. And as we level up, I'll show you guys here. We'll get to where we're going to level 4. At level 4, you get a substat bonus, meaning it will either add a substat to your glyph already, or it will increase the actual number on a substat you already have. So we're going to look here. We have crit damage, attack, and attack. Let's see what happens. Our HP is still already going up. You can see that it looks like it increased one of our own. We did not actually get an extra stat laid on here. So that's important. The levels in which the actual glyphs will enhance the substats are 4, 7, 10, 13, and 16. So you get 5 times 4, 7, 10, 13. Okay, you get 5 times those substats can be increased. Which brings me to my next point. Why it's very important to be looking for a lot of glyphs that have a lot of substats already, and the ones that you're looking for. Because we only get 5 shots at getting a new substat, or leveling up maybe an important substat that you want to get a hold of. So maybe if you see a glyph that maybe looks good, but only has 1 substat, that isn't really that great in the first place, because we're going to have a lot of substats added on. They're not going to be able to be boosted, etc., because you only get 5 times it can go up, and if it's not purple, you're not leveling it up those 5 times as it is. Hope that makes sense. Now we're going to be moving on to how to exactly glyph out your units. So early on, you heard in my early progression video, I think you want to go for straight vitality. The HP is beautiful. It's awesome. It helps you live through and start farming some glyph dungeons, farming some harder content. But as a general rule of thumb, I think that in the top slot, you always want speed. It is the only glyph that can have speed as the top stat, meaning that it increases on every level, making it its main stat. So I've reserved every one of my units to have speed in the top stat. Now, one of these is going to show up and not be speed because, yeah, it's HP, but that's because I really wanted to put the accuracy buff on him. So I didn't have a yellow epic speed one yet. But hey, hear me out, okay? It's normally speed. We'll keep going through. Speed, and then here's my last unit. All right, the defense percent, you caught me again. It's just because of the haste thing again, trying to make sure I get that set in. But if you hear me out, that speed at the top, very important in this game. Speed is a very good stat. It allows you to do more turns, allowing more cooldowns to be spent, allowing you to do more damage, and maybe heal more, etc. That's very important. These next ones are reserved more for what you need. Some units prefer HP over HP percent. Some units prefer defense over defense percent. I'll leave a link in the description below that'll actually show you which main stat each of these glyph spots can have, and then also explain to you guys a rule of thumb of if a monster has a certain base HP stat, what if you should go for percent HP or normal HP. It's same for defense and defense percent. I do believe you want to mix and match them up down here in these last slots, having HP percent or HP, whichever one you need, and defense percent and defense, so you can survive, beat the harder bosses, and make it out alive. Now, there are some exceptions to this, such as my Fire Treant. He heals every time he crits. That's the only way he heals. That's what makes him a good healer. And crit is only available as a main stat on the middle glyphs, the square glyphs. So you can see here that I have crit percent there instead of HP or defense percent. And that's going to go for other people too. Sometimes you're going to want a lifesteal. You know, you're going to use lifesteal glyphs, so you're going to want attack or crit damage or crit percent. That's going to be later in the builds, but I'm speaking solely on you know, a general consensus on what you want and how to get into the later game dungeons to get these purple and yellow glyphs that you may be on the lookout for. Let's go ahead and show you guys where you guys can be getting your glyphs. First and foremost, the Floating Isle, Nightmare. It's going to be easy for you guys to farm, and you're going to be able to your chance to get the yellow vitality glyphs. Honestly, I would say farm here until your units are extremely powerful, maybe over 10k HP each, and then something around, you know, leveled up to level 30 each, at least 4-star level 30 all the way maxed. And then, you know, some defense third on there and a lot of speed. Then I would move on to the glyph dungeons, and the first one you want to do is Wrath. Wrath provides us with precision, which gives us accuracy, and accuracy determines if we're landing our poisons or, you know, our debuffs and things like that. We want that to be up on a lot of our units that do have these debuffs. The next one is Haste, giving us speed. We want a lot of speed, so we're going to go in here and get that. Next is Lifesteal. This is more used, in my opinion, for maybe farmers. Some units will definitely really like Lifesteal. I just don't have those units yet, and I'm not to that point of using them. And then we have Appeasement, which adds to your healing. So your healer probably wants a set of Appeasement to make their healing even stronger. So all of those seem useful to me, and I would say I started farming when I got to where I could do Wrath 5. However, Wrath 6 is really when it turns on. You start being able to use 5 units instead of 4. You can see over here you can get the purple glyphs. You have a chance. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a Wrath 7 run now for this glyph thing, just to show you guys what it kind of looks like and what my my group goes in and does. I'm going to auto it. Now, sometimes I don't win due to the fact that, my crit healer doesn't crit and heal. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this on auto, let it go as fast as possible while I talk out the rest of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the video so you guys can just see it happen, and then I'll talk about the glyph I get at the end and if I really want it or not. Alright guys, that was a little sped up part there. It looks like I'm going to be able to do this pretty cleanly. My Treant must have healed, it looked like he healed a lot. His crit chance I think is a little bit above 50%, so, you know, that should be somewhat the norm if it's a little bit above 50%. But now we're at the end here, let's see what glyph we get. Okay, it's a yellow lifesteal glyph. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this glyph. It is a defense percent, which I like. It is yellow, which I like. Yellow and purple is what we're looking for. It has attack percent, HP, and attack. It has some more substats. It's missing 2, but that's all right. I like these substats. Defense percent is what we want on some of these units, so I'm gonna go ahead and save that up, and I'm gonna keep that. And yeah, that's how it is. I mean, honestly, you can keep all of your glyphs for a while. There are some times when you want to sell your glyphs for guild missions, so maybe just keep a hold of them all, but that's what I look for. I immediately look at the top stat. Okay, it's in that position. That's what I want. I want defense percent, and the lower 2, maybe on a defensive monster, maybe with lifestyle I want to use, and then I look at the other stats to see if I like them. One last place you can look for glyphs, And that haste glyph, actually, that we were leveling up earlier came from here, right here, is the shop. You guys can go in here and look at glyphs in here, things like this. This glyph right here, maybe even if I want haste, even if I want that crit percent, it is blue, has no other stats, I'm not buying it. I normally don't even look at the blues at this point. I've progressed throughout the game, but you may need to complete your sets. However, I'm looking for yellows, and I don't even know if purples can show up in here. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen that. But then again, I highly suggest just opening all your parts on the shop. Man, you never know what's going to show up here. Like I said, I found that really good HP percent square haste glyph that had a couple other substats, which I actually am going to use, so I'm going to level that bad boy up and use it. But yeah, that's there. Before we end this video, I want to shout out one more thing. I have a link to 3 content creators I think are amazing at this game. If you guys need more content, if you want to check them out, the links to their YouTube channels are in the description below. Please give them a look out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching my video, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're getting some cool glyphs. And if you can beat my, this hot legendary glyph right here. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.